if you have an opportunity to make it right with your person, man, make it right, because the grass ain't green on the other side. I can promise you that. Because the person you're dealing with, male or female, they love you for a reason. The person you think you want or you think you'll be better with, they're not gonna love you like the person loving you right now.
Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Emunah listeners, at some point in our lives, we've heard this biblical chant in 1 Corinthians 13. We either heard it, we recited it, we repeated it, we wrote it in some love letters. But what if you learned all of this too late? Well, our guest today may be able to answer this question. He's written a book entitled Lessons Love Left Behind. Welcome, Aaron Hawkins of Lakeland, Florida.
Thank you so much for having
me. You own a company, right? A trucking company, right?
No, ma'am. I'm not anymore. I had a company. I was a former company owner. I'm a regular employee now. I actually sold my company.
So your book is basically, though, hot off the presses, right?
Yes, ma'am. 2 weeks old.
Okay. 2 weeks old. Wow. And it's available on Amazon, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said there's another way. Maybe later we can talk about other ways to get a hold of your book. Okay. Can you give us a brief synopsis of it without giving away too much?
Yeah, basically, my book, Lessons Love Left Behind, it was written to commemorate and honor the legacy of my late fiancée. We were together for 3 years, and in those 3 years, it was a fascinating 3 years. There was some ups and downs in it, but I wrote the book to just share with the world the type of woman she was for me and the lessons that she was teaching me. But as you alluded to earlier, I didn't start learning those lessons until after she was gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to share with the world her greatness towards me.
Okay. And, I asked, what inspired you to write this book, mainly because, there's nothing new under the sun. And so many of us have gone through similar experiences, but we didn't write a book.
Right.
So what in particular inspired you or pushed you to do this?
Well, funny enough, shortly after she died, I felt like God spoke to me and told me to write the book. And I was like, soon after she passed, I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, because I was still guilt and just hurt. So I said, no, I can't do that. Like, I don't know how to write a book to make her look, to honor her, make her look in the best light. But over the course of the next 3.5 years, going through my just the grief, trauma, guilt, what have you, I began to just reflect on her and just learn like how good she was. And the thing that struck me the most, to answer your question, why did she decide to be that woman for me? Because I didn't feel like I was deserving of that.
Mm-hmm. And she died in what year?
August 22nd, 2021.
2021. And 3 years after that, you started to write the book.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
About 4 months ago, I started writing it.
Okay. Okay. And so what do you want readers to take from your story?
To cherish what you have while you have it, because tomorrow's not promised. don't be afraid to trust your partner because they have your best interest at heart. And be man enough to take your woman's advice because usually they right more times than not.
Some men may say, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can agree with
I get the
that.
pushback, but that's my perspective on that.
So you are getting pushback. Oh,
Oh, from
okay.
the fellas all the time. Yes, ma'am.
Emunah listeners, here's how Aaron introduces the love of his life. I saw her from across the room decorating her table. She had the most beautiful eyes I'd ever seen and such a pretty smile. Wow, who's that? I thought, sitting in my chair and just admiring her from afar. What reaction do you think? Her name was NJ or Njeria, is that right?
Njeria.
Okay. What reaction do you think NJ would have to this book?
I believe she would smile on it. I believe she would stamp it. I believe her smile is on it because it's very, very accurate. It's from the heart, so yeah. I think she would smile on it.
Okay. Now, Emunah Hebrew for Faith Belief podcast is faith-based. So I was kind of tuned in to Aaron's references to his parents in the book. And Emunah listeners, you have to get the book so you can really, once you listen to this again, you can understand better what we're talking about. But in the book, he refers to his parents. He describes them as super religious from the Pentecostal faith, a super strict religion. What was your experience growing up in this household?
It wasn't bad. It was just normal. It was normal. It wasn't bad. My parents went to a church called Greater Refuge Church of Our Lord of the Apostolic Faith. And it just was really strict. You couldn't listen to the worldly music. You had to dress a certain way, particularly the women. Just real. I hate to say old school because I believe in old school principles, but it was just a really strict religion. It was really like cut and dry. It wasn't no leeway for anything. They say we live by grace, but it wasn't much grace come to certain things. But it was my normal, so I didn't have no problem with it growing up.
But by today's standards, you're saying that it was strict. Is that what your point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Now that I'm outside looking in, I can see the rigidness in it and why people kind of, buck against it, if you will. As opposed to non-denominational and different religions and things like that.
I see. And you can tell in the book that his behavior around his parents in the book showed how he respected them and their faith. He said in the book, I had the audacity to bring my new girlfriend to their home while presently married. I was ready to face whatever because I wanted them to know that I had met this amazing woman. It didn't take long for them to welcome her into the family. They never mentioned my situation. And then later he talks about how they opened their home to him and NJ and her daughter. So if you were to sum up your view or perspective of your parents, what would it be?
Very loving. They're very loving. Yes, ma'am. Gracious. They are giving, supportive. My mother, particularly, like she talk a good game, but when it comes down to it, she gonna look out for her family. So, I got a loving family. They're very loving. In spite of what I may say, it's true what I said, but they bend the rules when needed, for the sake of the greater good.
And so they were tolerant, open-minded, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And obviously their opinions mattered because you wouldn't have taken NJ to meet them.
Right. 100%. Yeah. I respect my parents. I respect their belief, what they believe in. I grew up in it for several years, so I'm very familiar with it. So I knew how they felt about it. To
Mm-hmm.
put it in perspective, like they don't believe in double marriage, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple of brothers who's been married multiple times. They never went to the second marriages or the third marriages. They just, they know how we knew where they stood, and it was that. But that's why it was so amazing that they gave me the grace they gave me, because I've never seen it before because of their beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, how do you see their faith playing a role in accepting NJ and opening their home to you and yours?
um, grace, grace. They walked the grace out. They walked it out. In spite of what they may have said in the past, they extended that grace to me in my time of need, my new family.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And how would you describe your parents' relationship? Because oftentimes we look at our parents and the way their relationships are, and either we try and be like them or not like them.
Right.
But how would you describe your parents' relationship?
Oh, they've been married for 60 plus years. They've been married since they was 18 years old. My father,
Wow.
he just turned 80. My mother's 79. She'll be 80 in February. And they've been together. They've been married since they was 18. So a lot of ups and downs, go good and bad, but they stayed together through it all,
Mm-hmm.
and they love each other. They really love each other. And me personally, I try to emulate that.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why do you think you and NJ never got married?
Because of me, um, I was saving for a wedding, and she just wanted to go to the courthouse and just get our family started. But I told her I thought she deserved a wedding, so I was saving for a wedding. She died before.
Yeah. And while that was a good thought to have a wedding, you said she deserved a wedding. That I think that's a nice that's a good idea. But like you said,
Yes, ma'am.
it she died before that could happen.
Yeah. If she had a flaw, she wasn't perfect. She had her ups and downs, but if there's one thing I wish she had done more of, just like really like speak like what she really felt. Um, I knew she really wanted that, but she didn't really press it. Had she pressed it, maybe I'd have changed my mind. But um, that was my heart. Like I just felt like she deserved a wedding. I just wanted her to give her for her and her family to have that moment. She
Mhm.
was just like, we can do it later. Let's just start our family now.
Mhm.
And I was just insisting on giving her that wedding I thought she deserved.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I don't know if she felt like I was just, saying something to get her off my back, but that wasn't the case at all, because I felt really deeply for her, and I did want to give her
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Mhm. How did writing this book help you come to terms with things, or benefited you, or even healed you?
It's definitely therapeutic. Um, it was tough at the same time because reliving those emotions was still tough, but um, getting it out was good for me. I don't think I'll ever like totally be like over that part of my life, but I'm able to like walk in more confidence, knowing that um, I've learned from it, learned a lot,
Mhm.
and I'm still learning from it. But knowing that I've learned so much from it, um, it's been good for me.
Mhm.
It's been good for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
But writing the book definitely was therapeutic. It definitely was therapeutic for me.
Mhm. And some healing came from it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Came to terms with a lot of things, and actually I learned some things I didn't know either. So it was definitely good all the way around. It was a lot of good came out of it.
Mhm.
Her best
So
friend.
listen,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
Her best friend. I shared a lot of the journey of me writing with her best friend, and she was sharing things with me that I didn't know about NJ. Not nothing that was too secretive, but just like why she felt the way she felt about certain things and why she handled things the way she handled things. I thought I knew a lot of it, and I did, but she shared a lot of some things I didn't know that made more sense in our relationship in certain areas that just put things in better perspective. So I learned a lot, and it helped bring closure and healing too, because I always just wondered about certain things that I never had answers to.
Well, that's great. That's great. So this book is different, listeners, in that after each chapter, Aaron has questions. He has, activities, things that he wants the readers to do. So I thought we would have some fun because, usually he's asking you questions and you're going to the activity. But let's explore a few of these questions and activities.
Okay.
And let's see how Aaron would answer some of these questions. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So your first impression of NJ, focus on her eyes. That's something that I'd read. In retrospect, what should you have focused on in NJ's case? What did you not notice that you should have noticed right at the beginning?
Oh, that's a good question. How she carried herself. She was just such a lady. She did everything with grace in class. She was really a lady. But her physical attraction caught my attention before I paid attention to the lady she really was.
But that's true of most men, right?
Oh, for sure. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You talk about non-negotiables in a partner. So what are your 3 non-negotiables in a partner?
Lack of communication is a non-negotiable. Some sort of affection, touch, connection, and probably the third one, understanding. Just try to be understanding towards one another.
Okay. What does unconditional love look like in your actions?
Unconditional love is, for me, how I see it. The Bible says patience, but it's showing up when you don't want to show up. It's still being in love when you're angry. It's you're in love when you can be in a disagreement, or it could be a major disagreement, but you still know that we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna work this out. Just showing up every day when you don't feel like it, and also just doing the right thing when nobody's watching, because you love that person. You want the best for them. And even when they wrong you, you have to extend that grace and just, weather the storm, because that's your person.
Okay. Since your relationship with NJ, how have you changed the way you support loved ones facing their struggles?
That's a good question. I'm more patient. I'm more understanding. I'm more understanding, and I'm more forgiving than I once was. But I also hold you more accountable as well, so we can get the best answer or the best solution for the problem, if there's any solution to be had. Just more forgiving and more patient, but also hold you accountable, so we can figure out the best way to handle the situation we got going on.
What are your top 5 relationship values now, and how have they changed over the years?
Patience,
Patience comes up a lot.
Miss Tamara, I'm so I move fast, right? So if I feel like it ain't gonna work or it's not working, I just detach and I may still be in a relationship, but if I detach, it might as well be over with. But now it's just like I'm more patient. I think more before I react. Or if I react, I still think about it, and if I'm wrong, I correct it. Try to practice what I preach, live by example. Ain't always been the best at it. Still trying to every day. I'm still trying to get better at it. But these are the things that I try to do every day in my relationship since NJ. That goes for friends as well as my romantic relationship.
So, what else should listeners know about this book and about you?
About me, I'm just a regular guy with the big heart, who's flawed a lot, who's flawed in many ways, and just trying to learn from my mistakes every day. But the book, I just want people to learn from my mistakes. That's pretty much it. I want you to learn from my mistakes, and then if you have an opportunity to make it right with your person, man, make it right, because the grass ain't green on the other side. I can promise you that. Because the person you're dealing with, male or female, they love you for a reason. The person you think you want or you think you'll be better with, they're not gonna love you like the person loving you right now. Because the older we get, the less we tolerate, the less patience we have, the less we're not gonna put up with, more non-negotiables we have, and you're gonna be pretty much coulda, woulda, shoulda. So just you have an opportunity to make it work with your person. They're with you for a reason. They're hanging out for a reason. So figure it out. It's in the book. I read a section in my book about that because I see my daddy and my mama do it. I see my uncle go through it, and they're still together. I see my older friends, the older guys I look up to. They went through it and they came out on the other side good. So I know it can be done. For me, time just ran out for whatever reason. So I don't want to turn around on nobody else. If we all got that appointment one day, however, you don't want to meet that appointment and lose your person, and you could have did so much more than you did.
Okay, Emunah listeners, Lessons Love Left Behind, a memoir of love, loss, and the wisdom that remains by Aaron Hawkins. Order your copy today on Amazon. Until next time, real life, let's go, let's grow together in Him.
Thank you so much for having me.